Welcome back. Happy Tuesday. Today we're going to take a look at Charlie Woods, and we're going to look at his cause and effect and see, does he resemble his father? Is he a unique golf swing? How much of this is gene related and how much of this is him being taught by Tiger? And maybe we can start to see some of Tiger's motions in him. And it could be because it's all DNA'd or because it is coming from Tiger's mouth and how to hit the golf ball. Let's go to the first video on the left hand side. And by the way, this is really good pop stuff. If you ever see it, it is really delicious. Just soda water and orange juice gives you the soda without all the calories. But in the Barney purple line, let's look at that spine angle. Let's draw both of these so we get them all out the way, so I don't have to put you through my drawing escapades and see where that relationship is in terms of his centeredness. And what we're going to look for is signs of Tiger in Charlie and see if we can see some of this. We do see a little different setup change with Charlie, and we see that right knee is always kicking forward. I'm not sure why, if this is an injury issue or if this is just something he does. But if you take a look as he take that club back, look how perfectly those hands ride up that lower plane line, and they really start to rise up to the secondary plane line right at that midway point. And this is something that Tiger does phenomenally well too as well. Is that double wells? Do double wells cancel the original well? Who knows? But what we can see is typically when you get to this position, and if you've done a good enough job of staying in your spine angle, your hands would be at the center of your spine angle by this time. So not only do we see the hands pulling back, but they also are moving up and out at the same time, which means he is really getting some width behind this arc as he takes that club back. Now, if we keep on moving, we can see they go to that secondary plane line. How is his shoulder tilt? Well, his shoulder tilt looks pretty decent in comparison to where they should be. And let's draw this in green. So let's just eyeball 90 degrees. It's about 90. And we see that, yeah, he's right on plane. That's just great. And look at this. His butt of the club gets to that secondary plane line, and it goes a little bit long. And Tiger used to do this as a youth as well, and it's probably just because he's so flexible and he takes that club back a little faster. And when you take that club back faster, you are now dealing with momentum of that club head pulling your hands back. So we see typically students with slower swings have more control of where their hands get to the top, where somebody with a faster swing, their hands can move past that top position fairly quick. But if you look at the club face angle, it does match his left forearm. So in all things considered, this is a pretty good takeaway. We do see him squatting, which is good because this man will now jump up into the golf ball a la his father. And this is where him and his father are pretty identical in this move. And what we're going to do is let's just draw a triangle. And you know what, we're going to stay with Barney Purple just because he hasn't made his appearance in quite some time. And there's Barney Purple. Let's draw where the center of the triangle goes straight down. That's where his arms should want to fall down if everything is working together. So we see that, and look at that. It goes right down pretty good. It falls behind them, and then it starts to come back across. And this, again, is because he's keeping things more out in front as he turns. There is a slight disconnection here, though, because his body, a la his father, gets very spinny, and this is what Tiger did as a kid. This is what Charlie does as a kid. He's very fast with his hips, a lot of rotation, which stores up a lot of power. I'm sure Charlie can pound the golf ball, but as he gets down to impact, there could be some delay here, and we see those hands really have to engage to try and catch up. But you can see past impact how fast those hands are. They go from being behind the body to now boom, back out in front of the body and then cross into the left side. But I want you to take note, and let's look at I just erased all my lines on the right side, but let's just take a look at that left knee, and we're going to see how much action that left knee does have and what we need to look out for, because this is one of Tiger's injuries, and I'm afraid that Charlie might run into the same problem. As he comes on through, watch that left knee snap. Boom, it snaps back there. That's very Tiger-like. It snaps so much that his left foot comes off and replants himself. Now, Tiger did have his left knee snap, and he did move it back too, but if you are in any sort sort of rough situation where you're in longer rough, your foot cannot move back enough, and if you swing very hard, your foot gets stuck in that rough, and all of a sudden what absorbs that snap is that left knee. And you saw Tiger's injury history, a lot of that left knee injury. And another thing that might happen with Charlie as well is the amount of pressure that is stored up on that lower back as he tilts under and rotates left and around. So there is some cause for concern. He's young enough now where it doesn't matter, but at some point his body's going to give up, and injuries do take its toll the more years you play. Now let's take a look at that right hand side of the screen and see what's going on with the irons. So let's back up to the beginning and find our starting point. So unfortunately I did delete the lines like a boomer that I am. Now let's just draw some plane lines here and the upper plane line. Okay, back brace line. Let's take a look and see if that lower body rotates as much. Now we don't see him staying on that lower plane line. This could also be a camera angle, but we see it moving slightly more up. Now remember, this is an iron. He's trying to swing down, so you won't see it turn and stay on that lower plane line as long. But look at that spine angle in relation to the club face. So they're pretty square on with each other, which is good. It promotes width, and we can see he is wide. Look how straight these arms are away from his body, ensuring things are staying centered and connected to each other. And it's just because he's flexible and he takes after his dad. Pretty good top position here. We see a slight bit of looping back around, and I'm sure Tiger's addressed this, and he's probably going to try and work on that motion with him, but he drops it in the slot, and it's pretty good. I mean, it's all things considering, the camera angle is probably a little bit back behind us a little bit. If there's more down the line, like it truly would be, I would probably be closer to that lower plane line, but it looks pretty solid there. As he comes on through, you can see that club face is slightly open, so we don't see a lot of manipulation with the irons. As he strikes the golf ball, we see that release. It releases on that same plane, pretty close to where it came down into it, and we do see the shoulder tilt is maintaining itself. But however, we do also see that it's not necessarily a straight spine. It is kind of crashing down in that lower area. So this is another cause for concern that I would be concerned if I was Tiger, knowing, like if Tiger knew, and Tiger's taken probably control of his golf swing. Tiger's very knowledgeable in the golf swing, but if I was Tiger and I knew I had my injuries based on how I swung, and I saw my son displaying those same motions, I would be addressing this. I would be figuring out a way to make this swing work, because clearly he's got great hand-eye coordination, great rotation, great speed, but you've got to protect the body. And I'm sure Tiger knows this the best. But what do you think about Charlie's swing? Do you think I'm just making this up and trying to dream that this is Tiger 2.0? Or do you see some similarities between the two of them? I see some similarities, but obviously everyone's unique, and it's no two swings are identical. So I do see some similarities, but I also see some little things that are different to the owner. So hope that helps you out. If you like this, hit that like, share, and subscribe. But other than that, I will catch you for the next video. Fairways and greens.